We're talking to Gold Logie winner John Wood. He's here in Perth to be part of a fantastic David Williamson's play called The Club, and he's with us here at the Playhouse Theatre. Welcome, John Wood, to Perth.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back.
It's nice to have you on the show because I consider you a legend. Can I just say, I'm a Rafferty's Rule person myself.
Oh.
And I was saying in the car today, driving down, so I've watched about 600 episodes so far of Rafferty's Rules, but probably there was only 100 made.
There was only 100 made, yeah, about 111 I think.
But it's repeated that many times, I'm sure, all around Australia, maybe the world as well. People still remember you as...
Yeah, I wish I got paid for all these repeats, you know. I'd be a very wealthy man.
Where did John Wood start? Because how did you get your start in acting? Why acting?
Look, I don't really know why. It's something I always wanted to do ever since I can remember. Ever since I was a very young child, I had this desire to perform on stage. You know, it wasn't about showing off or anything like that. I don't know where it came from. It's I don't remember ever going to the theatre, or I suspect Mum might have taken me to the Tivoli once when I was very little. But I used to have nightmares, you know, about the theatre. You know, I'd be asleep, and the dream would always begin with all the lights going out, and then this voice, you know, like Vincent Price type voice, introducing a show, and this lights would come up on this gold lame curtain, which would then go up, and then something really dreadful would be enacted on the stage, and I'd wake up screaming. Well, I got to the point where I started waking up as soon as the lights went out. Sort of been the story of my life ever since. You know, as soon as the lights go out there, I come to life up here.
For us here in Australia, I think our biggest viewership for you, or the most admiration, would be Tom Croydon.
Yeah.
Did you love being in Blue Heelers?
Look, I did. Look, I've enjoyed every aspect of my career. You know, like I've ended up becoming a TV star. It never occurred to me that I would. I still love working in the theatre. But Tom became a household name, you know, and I guess even people that don't remember that I was in Blue Heelers actually still think of me as Tom Croydon, or as the bloke who won the Gold Logie.
Do you get a lot of people walking up to you and thinking that you are the character rather than the person John Wood?
Some people, but you know, not really. Most people do differentiate.
How long did you play Tom Croydon?
12 years.
It's a long time.
It is. Yeah.
Were you sad to see it end?
Look, for me, it was time. I mean, I have no regrets about it finishing. I mean, 12 years is a hell of a long time for anything to go. And I loved doing it. I loved working with the people I worked with. We had a fantastic relationship with each other and with the crew.
Cast.
We had a great time.
You've worked with people who have now become themselves great stars in television.
Well,
Lisa McHugh.
Lisa is a legend these days. Marty Sachs, yeah, Bill McInnes. You know, yes, they've all become very famous.
Do you ever become a mentor to these people? Because they must. I know they look up to you.
Oh, I don't know that they do, but.
Okay.
I can't imagine being a mentor to Bill. I mean, I think, you know, apart from the fact that he's 6'4", no, I don't think Bill looks up to anybody, really.
Well, can I ask you about the Gold Logie? Because I was reading this morning, and I'm one of these people, I've watched television for years, and I know that you've come up to the stage 10 times, 10 years. What was it like finally winning the gold? Do you get told, hey, John, you've won?
No.
Is it all kept secret?
It's all,
How did you feel when they called out the name John Wood? Did you think, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to win?
I had look, I sort of had a feeling that it might happen that year because it was the last chance. I mean, I knew the show was finished, and that I wouldn't actually be on screen for much time during the coming year, so that I would be unlikely to even be nominated. Funnily enough, I was, but and that was the year that Kate Ritchie won. Yep. But I had a sneaking suspicion that I might win because there was so much hype around at the time, you know, about having done, you know, having been nominated 10 years in a row. And in a way, you know, like it wouldn't have mattered whether I'd won or not won, you know, like having lost for 11 consecutive years would have been pretty memorable.
Well, you're here in Perth. Let me talk about this fantastic play. John, it is, of course, David Williamson's The Club. Now, tell me about this play, because it's about, from what I've read, it's about a football club that hasn't won a premiership for 19 years.
That's the basic story, I guess. It's but the play, for anybody out there that doesn't like the AFL, it's not really about football. It's about a group of dysfunctional guys that are trying to run an organisation, and the organisation in this case happens to be a footy club, but it could equally be a mother's club or a basketball club, or like local council. It's very much about people and the way they relate to each other, and the sort of the sort of petty rivalries and jealousies that go on in any sort of an organisation. Really, it could be an office. So it's not really about football. Football's just the backdrop.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a story behind the play. There's obviously comedy, a bit of humour, but a great storyline as well. It's a fantastic
story. It's about. Look, it's about the group wanting to get rid of the current president and the coach. The club hasn't won a premiership for 19 years.
A bit like the Dockers.
Well,
Story of
the Dockers. Well, it could be West Coast. West Coast is sort of fairly dysfunctional at the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
It's it's not surprising. The sort of upheavals they went through in the past 18 months are massive. And obviously it affects the entire team and the whole hierarchy. And the play is basically about those sorts of things. How stuff that's happening on or off the field is impacting on the actual organisation, and so the play is very relevant.
In a few words, John, can you tell the viewers, look into that camera and tell the viewers why they need to come and see you in the club?
Well, I think you need to come and see me in the club because the play is immensely funny. You'll recognise the characters immediately, you'll understand the way they talk, and you'll laugh like drains. And if you've never been to the theatre, it's probably one of the best nights you'll ever have. And we've had people all over Australia now come to see the show that they've never been to the theatre before, and they're amazed at how much they've enjoyed it. So come along, you'll have a great night.
The play runs to the 6th of May. It's called The Club, starring the legend John Wood, Gold Logie winner, and just a great all-round actor here in Australia. And of course, it'll be a fantastic play for Perth. It will be here at the Playhouse Theatre. We'd love to have you here to come down and watch the play. The Club. Please support it. Thank you, John Wood, for being on the couch today.
Thank you. Cheers.